Chicago Bears head coach Ben Johnson has hinted at a major lineup change taking place. Let's talk about this, people. What is going on? Y'all, Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below and make sure to hit the bell icon so you are, in fact, notified every time I drop a new video. All right, so Ben Johnson was asked in his weekly press conference about Luther Burden and his play thus far, especially in the game against the Giants. And Ben said the following, and I quote, "He's been very productive when we've been able to get the ball in his hands, and there's a strong argument that we should get it to him more." End quote. Keyword there is more. Keywords, I should say. We should get it to him more. Yes, you should, Ben. You absolutely should. And not just because of Luther Burden's play, okay? But also because of the guy that he should be replacing, who I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but has effectively this past game kind of wrote his death sentence. And I'm talking about, of course, Olamide Zaccheaus, who had a million drops, it felt like, in that game against the Giants. So much so that Caleb Williams even had him open for a play there for a touchdown, and he ran it himself because he was just tired of Ozzie dropping the football too much. And I can't blame him. All right, so Luther Burden, to me, now is the time to kick it into high gear with the kid. All right, we're about halfway through the season, and he is showing you the flashes. I feel like he's gotten comfortable in the offense. It's time to go ahead and make that switch. All right, let's just do the swap. Luther Burden at your wide receiver 3 over OZ. It needs to happen. This past week's snap count against the Giants, I was just curious what it was like between the two receivers. And OZ played 57% of the snaps, while Luther Burden played 49% of the snaps. That needs to flip quick, fast, and in a hurry, okay? And look, besides the obvious eye test, which just tells you that Luther Burden is so much more explosive and just good things happen when you get the football in the kid's hands, there are numbers that will blow your mind. I could not believe this. This is per Jonathan Wood on Twitter, who tweeted out the following. He tweets out about, Bears tidbits and whatnot. Olamide Zaccheaus on the season has 50 targets. He has converted those 50 targets into 32 catches for 248 yards. Luther Burden, on the other hand, has just 18 targets. He has converted that into 16 catches and 222 yards. Folks, can you believe that? 50 targets equated to 248 yards for OZ, and just 18 targets, and Luther Burden is almost at the same receiving yardage total. 222. I mean, that is insane. Imagine if that was flipped and you had Luther Burden get 50 targets. Now, I get it. OZ is a very low ADOT guy, right? Just a slot possession receiver, and Luther Burden is a deep threat guy. But Luther Burden is so much more than that. Luther Burden, you can line him up, I believe, anywhere on the field, and he can be effective. And so he could play OZ's role better than OZ can. OZ cannot play Luther Burden's role better than Luther Burden can. He can't do anything, I think, at this point. No disrespect to OZ. He can't do anything at this point better than Luther Burden. And so at this point, you got to make the switch. You got to go ahead and put Luther Burden at your wide receiver 3. The offense just becomes way more explosive with Burden than it does with OZ. And you have to make that switch. All right. And at worst, it should be 50-50, right? You've seen it kind of with the Loveland and Kmet switch. I know snap count wise, it was about equal, but, Colson Loveland is getting targeted much more now recently. The same exact thing needs to happen with Luther Burden. I mean, there's an argument to be made, like Luther Burden's the Bears' most effective receiver. Like, even Rome is good for a handful of drops, a drop or two a game. DJ Moore's kind of been inconsistent this season. Like, Burden, all he does is just make plays. He just makes plays. I don't want to jinx him, man. But every time you throw the ball to the kid, I feel like he catches it. And so this absolutely needs to happen. OZ with the drops, that was just egregious. He actually has the second highest drop rate on the team at 8%. Actually, it's the highest drop rate as far as the wide receivers. Cole Kmet is at 9% and Kyle Menenga is at 13%. but obviously tight end and running back. But as far as receivers, he is the highest at 8%. All right, so to me, this switch needs to happen. I would do it immediately. I would do it this week against the Minnesota Vikings, in which you are going to need Luther Burden against a tough defense. And this back half of the season is all about facing tough defenses. It's an absolute gauntlet. And so you're going to want all your playmakers out there to be able to, you know, put yourself in the best advantage possible. And the thing with Luther Burden, man, he can take the top off a defense. And so you dial up one of these deep shots to him and it can demoralize a defense. So to me, this switch needs to happen. I know Ben Johnson hinted at it. Ben, go ahead and make the switch, man. I know Uzi's a vet. I know he's a professional. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just let him know, hey, you're the wide receiver 4. You know, we'll swap you in here and there. You'll play a lot if there's, you know, God forbid, an injury. But for right now, the kid has outplayed you and earned your playing time. So let me know what you guys think about that. Agree or disagree. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always. Thanks for watching.